Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? Job for Cody here with my good friend, and your good friend as well, Cloudylq, and we are cutting the shit about Injustice 2021. Cloudy, how have you been, man? What are you up to?
Been good, man. Just been, chilling, working a new job, that kind of thing. So, ready to talk about some DC.
Yeah, absolutely. This was a movie we watched a couple of days ago, and it's awesome to kind of finally get a chance to sit down and break it down. Basically, the plot of this centers around the Joker tricking Superman into killing Lois Lane, and he then goes on a pretty insane and brutal rampage, thus making him effectively a dictator, and he's pretty much trying to take over the world, while remnants of the Justice League and Batman are trying to prevent that.
And as some viewers may remember too, there was the Injustice game that came out in 2013 from I believe it was NetherRealm Studios. That's kind of where the main story takes place, and then there was a comic line written to be a prequel up to that. The movie itself, this new one, encompasses not only the stuff from the prior years written in the comics, but it also includes the story, a lot of some of the story from the game. So it's a kind of a mashup between the two.
Yeah, and I'd never really played the game. I more or less never really read the comics either, but I did listen to a lot of breakdowns, like from Comics Explained and Comic Historian. So I know a little bit. That's why, Cloudy, I think it's pretty pivotal that you're a part of this, because you know a big chunk of it. But I did at least take the effort to kind of brush up on the summary, and this pretty much effectively covers year one. And before anything major really happens, it takes a pivot, and then it does its own thing. It kind of caps it off, so it really doesn't. I mean, I guess there's hope for a sequel, but I'm not exactly. We could talk about that part later. But yeah. I guess, I mean, first things first, how did you feel about the beginning? How did you feel about, just like what the Joker did with Lois Lane? I mean, obviously, it was pretty true to the comics, but,
I personally, I loved what the Joker did. It's probably one of my favorite stories involving the Joker, and the reason being is, Joker has been trying to get Batman to break his rule on killing people for how many years now? Practically the entirety of Batman Joker's career. That's what Joker has been trying to do. It was kind of cool to see him give up on that and be like, you know what, I'll just corrupt the next best thing to show. I mean, he just kind of sticks it to Batman. Mm-hmm. He's like, you're probably the only one who could stick to this rule, and so I really loved that part about it. It was kind of cool to see Superman also go from being the Boy Scout to being the villain that he was in that. Mainly because, we've seen other alternate stories of Superman where it seems like he's just kind of like in alternate realities where a villain, he always seems to be just a villain right out of the gate. Where I think this was cool to see him go from the Superman that we know to a total dictator that he could be with someone with his power set. More of like an Omni-Man or Homelander.
So I definitely got that Omni-Man vibe. I for one, when he was taking Lois up into space, and Batman was like, "No, like that's not Doomsday. That's Lois Lane.
Whatever you're seeing is not real."
Oh my god! And then like it exploded his city, and the Joker was pretty much like, "This is the ultimate joke." I was like, "Hell, fucking yes!" And just to see him like go down there and just kill the Joker, Batman was gonna let that slide. You could tell Batman was gonna let that slide, but it's what led afterwards, where he just started invading countries, taking over dictatorships, and forcefully, enacting peace. And then we basically see the fall of everything. You see the friendship between Batman and Superman start to just crumble, especially when his dad was kidnapped by the U.S. government. And Batman, it was true in the comics as it was in the animated movie, when he was like, Superman could put you on Saturn in a second, and there's nothing that no one could do. He's like,
that scared the hell out of me.
Yeah, honestly. Dude, it's like why the hell would you do that?
And no one would think to look for you on Saturn. I was like, holy shit.
I was kind of, man, Flash did kind of get debated, I felt like, though. We really didn't get to see too much of him before he just got cucked.
Worse, I mean that was probably my biggest gripe with the movie, and from what I can see when I when I watch clips on YouTube or when I read reviews about it, it seems like everybody's main gripe is they're like, "Yo, Flash got done dirty." He died before Lois did, and they had I can't remember exactly what it was. I can't remember if it was like a UN meeting or Superman just kind of talking, but he talks about the people that they lost and he just totally skips over Flash. Like doesn't even mention him. And I'm like, yo, that's like one of your best friends, one of the original Justice League. Nobody's talking about Flash dying.
And
weird.
I thought it was pretty interesting that we seen Aquaman leave, and you didn't see anything else. I mean, in the comics, we got to see a lot more from the Aquaman and his army and everything, but you didn't get to see that in this animated film. Next thing that kind of took me by storm was, of course, Nightwing dying and becoming Deadwing. I thought that was fucking awesome.
That was very cool.
Yeah.
Before we get into the Nightwing thing, I did want to say, just kind of to backtrack to the Aquaman thing, how we didn't see. It was weird that we didn't see Aquaman in there because Aquaman was he was a big part of the game story. Another weird thing that I thought about the movie was we didn't see the Green Lantern.
Yeah.
The Green Lantern, about the last time we saw him was when he told Clark, he's like, "Hey man, just chill out. Like you're grieving right now." And then you never see him for the rest of the movie, which is very weird because in the game, Green Lantern's a big part because Green Lantern joins the regime and becomes a Yellow Lantern. Instead of using willpower, him and Superman are guiding by fear.
Yeah.
So Sinestro, Hal Jordan as a Yellow Lantern are part of the regime. And that's like a big part of the story. So it was really weird to not see Hal Jordan in this movie after the few lines that he got. He didn't do anything. And I just thought it... Oh, sorry.
I was going to say, he basically just ripped off the ring. I mean, I want to say he ripped off someone's finger in the comics or in the game, but like in the movie, he just took off the ring and then caught him before he fell, and that was it. I don't think we saw him after that.
And that's like, and I know this is kind of jumping ahead, but part of Injustice 2, the second game, a big part of that game was Hal Jordan's redemption because he couldn't really wield a Green Lantern ring after all of the things that he did as a Yellow Lantern, part of the regime. Because, it's explained a little bit more in the comics than it is in the games, but the regime does some fucked up things.
Yeah.
I mean, in the movie, we saw like the murder of Green Arrow, which is pretty fucked up. Superman killing that entire building of people. So
I mean Arkham Asylum too. I think he killed Grundy, right?
Yeah, I don't know if you can count Grundy. Grundy's undead, so I don't know if that exactly counts as evil.
Oh no, he like slaughtered. I mean, he went through the dude.
He did punch right through him. But I just thought it was really weird that we didn't see more of Green Lantern in the film because he was a pretty big part. We could go on to the Nightwing stuff. That's all I had to say about that. I just thought that.
Well, yeah, and even the Nightwing, there's not much more to do after that. I mean, that's where we see Superman becoming allies with Ra's al Ghul. Is it Ra's al Ghul? Did I say that right?
Ra's al Ghul.
Ra's al Ghul. So I was close, and that was an interesting alliance there. But another thing was Damian, betraying Batman, and he was the one that killed Nightwing. And then we led to Green Arrow getting his face lasered off when he killed Superman's dad. They went to infiltrate the Fortress of Solitude.
And that wasn't even his fault. That was Clark's fault.
Yeah, dude.
He shoots the kryptonite arrow. Clark blocks it into his father.
And that's when things just start getting more and more dark, and that's when you get to see just the decline. And then I don't know. It gets Of course, the action parts of it were awesome. There's no denying that. But I think it kind of really didn't pick up pace until towards the Mazo part. I mean, in between, you've seen Plastic Man kind of shine when he was breaking Mr. Terrific out and stuff. But outside of that, nothing really happens. Mazo, though, killed Hawkman and Cyborg brutally, dude. Used his mace. He assimilated his powers and just brutalized him and then ripped off Cyborg's face.
That was honestly, that was to me, that was kind of a weird part in the movie. I don't know. I didn't read much of the comics. Like you did. I played the games fully through, so I do know those stories. But comics, I really just watched breakdowns. I'm not sure if Amazo was an important part of the comics. So it was kind of weird to all of a sudden see just Amazo thrown into the movie, and then all of a sudden the regime and the rebels are like working together to like fight it. And it was just, I don't know, it was just kind of like a weird spot in the movie. It felt like to me as from what I've seen from the games and the comics. I don't know, was that in the comics?
I'm not exactly sure. I'm not exactly sure. It kind of did seem like it was just thrown in there just to get us the end.
Yeah, to get us the action scene, and
because that was really the part that kind of changed, at that moment, because Nightwing did die. I want to say Green Arrow died too.
Yeah, Nightwing and Green Arrow both died at Arkham Asylum, I believe.
But this, like around that point, is where it kind of really changed, and this is.
Or no, I'm sorry. Green Arrow died. You said it earlier. Green Arrow died at the Fortress of Solitude, right? Because weren't they holding Jonathan Kent there?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he died there. Was Dick Grayson died at Arkham, I believe. Mm-hmm. They were having a battle, and actually that scene really messed me up too, because you could really see the remorse on Damian after it happened.
Yeah.
He threw the nightstick at him, hits him in the head. And he's like, Dick always blocks it. He always blocks it. It was like, holy shit, Damian's actually. I've never seen him sad about killing anybody before. He's trained not to be.
So it was really interesting too, though, when they did fight Amazo. We seen, afterwards they were able to defeat him. Wonder Woman turning on Superman, and then they're pretty much left with no other option, and that's when you see Mr. Terrific actually pull a Superman from Earth 22. No, wait, was it Earth 9 or? No,
I can't remember what Earth it was, because they were kind of confusing, because you said it when we watched it, because I remember telling you
they considered each Earth their own Earth 1.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, we're from Earth 1, and the other guys are like, we're from Earth 1. I'm like, wait, which Earth is this?
They pulled a Superman, and then the Superman that was from Earth, which is actually technically Earth 22. That Superman just didn't pull punches, so he was fucking like ravished, dude. He like beat the shit out of that Superman, and it took him. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say which was different from the game. So in the movie, so I'm gonna refer to him as Regime Superman, because I don't remember the Earth number that he's from, but Regime Superman is gonna be the one that I refer to as the evil Superman from the Injustice series. And then I'll just call the other one like Good Superman. In the game, Good Superman actually beats bad Superman, and that's how they get him into prison. In this movie, which I really loved and was my favorite scene out of the entire movie, was what you were saying. Regime Superman wins because Regime Superman doesn't hold back like regular Superman does. And we've seen we've been shown that Superman holds back in a lot of different media. It's been shown in the comics, and it's been shown in other animated movies too. The one that really comes to mind is Superman versus the Elite. If you've ever seen that one, there's this evil group, about 5 people led by Manchester Black, and they have the same. It's kind of they're like a Joker Batman thing. Like, they use their superpowers to kill criminals because they want to stop all crime. Mm-hmm. Superman tells them it's wrong, and so they try to corrupt Superman. And in the last scene, it's pretty gnarly. Superman he puts on this show that he's very bloodthirsty, and he starts killing all of these people like brutally. I mean, he takes one guy into space, and he comes down and he starts talking about how he heard his lungs pop up there to one of the other guys.
Yeah, that's brutal, dude.
And it's gnarly. And Manchester Black the whole time is like, that's not what Superman does. You don't kill people. And then you find out at the end that Superman was actually faking the whole thing just to scare them. But like, it just goes to show you that, regular Superman is actually, I would say, maybe only like 60 to 75% of his real power. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Maybe even less than that, depending on which universe it's from. But sorry to drag this on.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good. So the way they ended this, though, I thought was really interesting. They pulled a Lois Lane from a different Earth, and she was pregnant, and that's all it took for Superman to kind of just chillax. I thought it was kind of touching when she moved his hand to touch the unborn baby as well. Yeah. It was, I don't know, it was interesting. There was two parts that we missed that I kind of do want to reflect back on, and that was Mirror Master, who was originally able to capture Superman's dad and locked him in that lake that was just so beautiful because it reflected the sky.
That was actually a really cool thing. Yeah, I didn't know that Mirror Master could use any reflection.
Yeah, me either.
I guess I never really looked into Mirror Master's true powers, but I mean, just, you know, from anything we've ever seen is him been going into mirrors. I never thought of what could be used as a mirror. You know what I mean? So that was really, really cool. Because I started thinking about it. I was like, holy shit! On a good sunny day, Mirror Master could go through the entire ocean. He could be anywhere. You know?
Another part was the killing of the children of the Joker at that night house. I thought that was a really beautiful scene. There was a lot of awesome colors, and they really did a good job, like just visualizing the rave. I thought, you know, you seen everything reflect off of Superman, and that's when you really got to see him like just be really dark.
That part actually kind of fucked me up. That one gave me real Homelander vibes.
Yeah.
Like when he starts just lasering the crowd of people, I was like, oh shit, that's Homelander right there.
So, go ahead.
I think I was just an involuntary.
So, with everything said, how would you rate this movie? I guess, like, what's your final thoughts on it?
I mean, to be honest, I loved it. I thought it was a great movie. I take it with a grain of salt. I knew it was not gonna follow I knew it wasn't gonna follow the comics or the game exactly. But I got so much fan service from both of those things. You know, I was so hyped when I saw Superman do 2 of his finishers from the games. So his Injustice 2 finisher is where he flies through the air and he's punching, and then he catches you, and then he slams you. And so that's what he did to the other Superman. You know, when he was like punching in the air, he's like, I don't fucking hold back. And I was like, that's the fucking move. And then he does the other. I can't remember who he did this one to, but he brings him up into orbit and then fucking 2 hands slams him like that all the way back down. I was like, that's from the first game. Oh, so I was hyped. I mean,
I'm wondering, did he do that in Arkham? I'm wondering, did he do that to Grundy? I know he was like beating the shit out of Grundy.
Grundy was the one he fucking Superman flew through.
Yeah, but I thought he hit him up in his face too.
It could have been Grundy. I can't remember who it was, but I was like, that was from the game, man. That was so cool.
Yeah.
So that was dope.
I would say overall, this was an awesome film. It definitely held up to my expectations. You always got to kind of go into these with the understanding it's not going to be 100% true to the comics, but it did nail a lot of the parts as true as you possibly could while taking its own creative drive with it. I think we could see a sequel. You know, Superman did voluntarily lock himself up, but that, you know, who's to say something doesn't break him out or something doesn't cause him to go crazy. And I think they wanted to have that creative drive so that way, you know, if they decided to pick up on it, they could. I would say this would be something worth watching. Definitely, you know, if you're into the animated films, even worth buying. You know.
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, honestly, when I think about the DC movies, for me, the animated ones I actually prefer them. I think DC does, and I'll just be honest, lame live action stuff.
Yeah.
But their animated stuff is on point. Whereas Marvel, they're kind of lackluster in their animation. However, their, you know, live action stuff is on point. So I just think that DC does animation a little bit better. Marvel does live action, you know. But
no, I agree.
I would probably give this movie, if I had to rate it, I think I could honestly give it a 4 out of 5. The only thing I didn't really like about it was the art style at times was kind of weird. Like there was
Knuckles. I hated the Knuckles.
The Knuckles were just big black blocks. I also didn't like that Batman I don't know why some artists do this to Batman, but they just give him random lines under his cowl. And I guess they're supposed to look like wrinkles, but they don't. You know what I mean? They just look like lines on his face. And so I'm like, I don't know. So some of the Batman artwork can get kind of lame, but other than that, I mean, it was a great film. The action was good. I think they probably could have been a little bit darker. After watching Justice League Dark Apocalypse War and seeing what they can do when they want to make an R-rated animated film, I think they could have gone probably a little bit darker. But other than that, it was a great movie.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty awesome. You know, and I think you pretty much nailed it around the head. I think actually with that be a perfect time to sign off because this is Cutting the Shit with both Codys.
With both Codys.
What an awkward cutoff. No, but seriously, really appreciate having you on. It's always a blast, you know, really to cut the shit about, you know, superhero shit in particular. And yeah, man, we gotta get another superhero film in or another movie. I know there's a lot of them dropping soon. I really still want to do Army of Thieves. I think we could really ham it up on that one. Just knowing like what it leads to and shit.
Are we still recording?
Yeah.
Oh, we are? Okay. Yeah, Army of Thieves would be cool. I think I might need to watch it again. And I think I also would probably want to watch Army of the Dead again too, because I kind of want to talk about like I guess you would call them Easter eggs. I want to talk about little things from that film that I noticed in the other one. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I mean, that's always the cool thing with a prequel or a sequel is, you know, noticing things from the original film.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, dude, maybe we get a huge movie night in where we watch both of them. But with that being said, this is really us finishing up Cutting the Shit. As always, I'm John for Cody, and we're here with Cloudylq, and this is us signing off.